Alright, so look, I figured it would be a good time to talk about my story and my addiction that I did have with porn and pornography and masturbation, excessive masturbation. The two was working hand in hand with each other. I don't believe no man watches porn and doesn't masturbate to it, but that's neither here nor there. As a warning or disclosure, whatever, if you don't have this problem, you might want to stop the video now. Or if your husband doesn't deal with this problem, or you as a female don't deal with this problem, it's not for you. But if this is a problem, if it's a problem to you, then this is you, okay? And this is for you, and I'm sharing it so you know that you can overcome it. This doesn't have to end with, you just being addicted to it all your life. Stop it. It's nasty. I'll tell you how. I was dealing with the battle with porn ever since I was like 13, 14. Okay? It started off with just me, and it was a thing that I did. Being a kid or being a teenager, you bump into porn, you stumble into porn. It just happens, okay? And that's what, it's just natural to stumble across it. It's sex. You're going to hear about the birds and the bees, wonder what it is, find out what it is on TV. You're going to see it. It's going to come. This is the world we live in. I bumped into it 11, 12, 13, one of those ages, and it was a part of me. I did it excessively. It was a thing that I made a habit of doing. It was daily for a long time, okay? I was introduced to it by a friend. I was also introduced to masturbation by that same friend. Walked in, oh, yo, what you doing? This is what I'm doing. They didn't care, but I was introduced to it, and it became a problem for me throughout my life, and it was something that I just did regularly. And when I started to attempt to give my life to Christ, it was something I carried into that relationship with Christ. I got spiritual. I carried that into my relationship with Christ, and that was a problem. And the thing is, about being delivered from it, or being delivered from anything, we tend to think that we could still do this thing and still serve Christ, but it's going to come a time where this thing that you're doing, he's going to take from you, or not attempt, because God doesn't try anything, but he's going to take this thing from you, but you're going to pick it back up. And it was a couple occasions where the thought of it was leaving me, the craving for it was leaving me, but I kept picking it back up because I was used to wanting it, okay? And, it was like smoking. My nerves would get bad and I would just run to it. All right, and I carried it into my relationship with Christ, and I thought I could maintain a relationship with Christ and keep a relationship with the pornography, and that was bad. It didn't work out, and you can't serve the world and God at the same time. But I made that mistake, and I thought both was natural. I felt like at some time it'll go away, but it really didn't go away, or it wasn't gonna go away until I decided to do something about it. Okay, and I felt where it just was a problem. I didn't like it, okay, but I was connected to it. And it would get to a point where if I bumped into a space of time where I could get it done and do it, it don't matter where I was at, I would get it done and do it. It always was when it was dark outside, or if it was daytime and nobody was home, that's what I would do, because I really had a situation within myself. I was struggling with lust. I had a sexual appetite. And that's what I would do. I tried to keep a relationship with that and Christ at the same time. And it just wasn't working. But I didn't know. I would be more obsessed with the praise break, the loud preaching. I would preach. I would minister as well, being jacked up. And I would be a hypocrite for a while, but I didn't know. It was one day where, and it was so bad. I'll spend a brief second on this. It was so bad to the point where I would fall asleep with it on. Back when I was in high school, okay, I didn't see nothing wrong with it. My understanding of sexuality, my understanding of being sexually intimate was corrupt, because I would be more so cool with doing it with myself than doing it with another woman. And even during the time of waiting for my wife, I was absent from sex for 4 years, waiting for my wife. And during that time, I still had a problem with it, and I still struggled with it. And I felt like, well, because I'm not having sex with nobody else, I'm still good. No, you're not still good. I wasn't still good. My bad. But I was still dancing on eggshells, and I put myself in compromising positions anyway to mess up my progress on being absent and waiting for the person who would truly love me and care for me and be with me and make a vow with me before I gave my body to the person. So I got into a relationship with Christ, and I really didn't come into the realization that it was bad until after I got married. So that means, yes, I took porn and I took masturbation into my marriage, and it was a thing that I did. And my understanding was so jacked up to the point where if my wife was busy or whatever, and, you know, probably that time of the month or whatever, it was, whatever, I got it. I could do it. You know, we argue, oh, I ain't got to ask you, I got it on my own. And nah, it just wasn't the thing to do. And it was bad. Imagine being a woman married to a man who keep watching porn, spending time in the bathroom. You know, grab your husband's phone right now and go. Anyway, because there's a problem that most men don't like to address. Nevertheless, I didn't think of it that way, but I was hurting my wife. I was hurting myself. I was offending God. I was being a hypocrite, okay? And I wasn't exposed to the realization of how in a marriage, not only just in a marriage, but being by yourself, single and serving Christ, watching porn and masturbation and combining those two together is fornication. In a marriage, it's adultery, okay? Because I was cheating on my wife, being mentally stimulated and physically stimulating myself to a video, okay? And that was my problem, and that was hindering me inside my marriage as well, because I wasn't treating this lady right, nor was I giving her what I vowed to give her at the altar, okay, when we got married. And the problem is, I brought it to Christ. I said to myself, I'm going to stop praying the same prayer. Lord, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. No, I did mean it, and I like doing it. I don't know how to let this go. And I was tired of living that way. So I had to pray a different prayer. I had to go to God and say, God, I do like it. I am with it. I love doing this, and I don't need to. And I brought my works to him, and I brought it to the light. I left the darkness and said, here, I'm dirty, I'm disgusting, I feel bad. This is unrighteous. This is not who you called me to be. I confronted it. And because I confronted it and told the truth about it, and I threw myself out there, and I called somebody for some help, a friend of mine, and I said, look, you got to help me. They said, what? And I told them my problem. I'm the preacher or the minister that watch porn. So I'll get up there and I'll minister, and I'll still be dealing with porn, but I'll never confront it. Sometimes I would leave the pulpit and go press play an hour or two after leaving the pulpit, and I was wrong, and I had it wrong. So I had to expose myself, and I told the friend of mine, I said, this is what I'm dealing with, and I confronted myself, and I exposed my new prayer that I found out. This is what this is. I like it, but I want to get rid of it. And the reality of what I was doing was exposed. And knowing the truth about it, I can't turn back, and I haven't turned back since. If this is you, I didn't mean to take this long, but whatever. If this is you, you don't have to go on that way. And this can get worse. It can get bad if you don't do something about it. You don't have to fight alone. And you're not alone. But you can't get nothing done if you're not honest. You can't. You got to make a move, and you can overcome. And I did the video in under 10 minutes. Good.